Welcome to Online Children's Ministry. You just listened to the first verse of My Lighthouse by Rend Collective. And throughout this video, we're going to jump between me right here and listening to that song. And I'm going to talk through some of the lines that we hear through the song as we go along. So I am excited for you to join me on this journey through the song My Lighthouse. At the end of that verse, we heard the lines, "You are my peace in the troubled sea. You are my peace in the troubled sea." And it makes me think of the story of when Jesus calms the storm for the disciples. In Mark 4, we find this story, and it says that Jesus and the disciples got into their boat, and there were other boats with them, when all of a sudden a furious storm came upon them, and the waves broke over the boat so much that it was nearly drowning. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, spoke to the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. I wonder if you've ever been in a big thunderstorm. I wonder if you've ever been swimming in Lake Michigan or another body of water, and the waves were taller than you, that they crashed over your head and caused you to roll around in the water. I wonder if you might be feeling troubled right now about something, or feeling bothered by something, and you feel like it's throwing you around, and like the waves throwing you around. Well, if that's the case, I hope that this verse that you just listened to, the verse in the Bible about Jesus calming the storm, but also the verse of the song where it says, "You are my peace in the troubled sea." I hope that that's a comfort to you, knowing that even when you feel troubled, God is still there and peace can be found in Him. In the silence you won't let go. In my questions your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are my peace in the troubled sea. Oh, you are my peace in the troubled sea. In the verse we just listened to, we heard the line, "In my questions, your truth will hold." Now, when my brother was younger, he had the tendency to ask the question, why a lot. Why is the sky blue? Why do apples grow on trees? Why is the car blue? Why are you mad at me? Why? I wonder if you have a sibling like that. And to be honest, I don't think my brother really cared for all the answers. I think he just wanted to bother me. But life is full of questions. We have questions all the time. And God says that even in our questions, His truth will hold strong. And we see that in the story of Peter. Peter was in a boat with some of the other disciples, and they saw a man walking on water toward them. Well, that man was Jesus. And Peter yelled out and said, "Jesus, if it's really you out there, tell me to walk on water with you." He was like, "Is it really you?" That was Peter's question. And Jesus said, "Come out to me on the water, Peter. It is me." And so Peter started walking out on the water. And as he started walking, he began to question what was happening. He began to doubt, and so he started to sink. But Jesus grabbed hold of him and pulled him up, because it was true. Jesus was walking on water. And so whenever you have questions, whenever you might start to doubt, turn to God. Turn to His scripture. Turn even to a trusted adult. Ask them some of your questions. They may not have the answers for you, but they'll be happy to listen to you, and they might even have a few answers for you, or they'll help you try and find the answer. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are my peace in the troubled sea. Oh, you are my peace in the troubled sea. This verse we just listened to began with, "I won't fear what tomorrow brings." In the Bible, the words "fear not," "don't be afraid," or "do not fear" appear 365 times. Last I checked on my calendar, there were 365 days in the year, which means there's one verse in the Bible for every one of those days. Every day, God tells us to not fear, to not be afraid. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be afraid ever, and God's not asking us that. He knows that sometimes we'll get scared. I was scared the other night. I had a bad dream, and so I had to turn on a light so that I wasn't so scared. But when I was in that moment, I thought about how God was with me and how He tells me not to be afraid because He's with me. And that gave me a lot of comfort. So I hope that that can give you some comfort today if you're feeling scared or afraid. To close this video, you will hear the chorus of the song. It refers to God as our lighthouse. Lighthouses guide boats back safely, away from troubled seas, away from the questionable waters, and away from their fears. And God can do the same for us. He guides us through our troubled seas. He guides us through our questions, and He guides us through times when we're scared. Enjoy listening to the chorus now.
My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise, you will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore.
Until next time.